I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Keep my wife's name out your mouth.
2023's got a fresh lineup of Hollywood's not-so-favorites. Ever wondered why some stars who once dazzled now make fans cringe? From jaw-dropping scandals to off-camera dramas, we're diving into the 10 most talked about, most side-eyed, and definitely most hated actors this year. Ready to get the inside scoop? Let's get started. Number 10. Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis. The tale of Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis was one for ages. Remember them from the nostalgic TV days? This Hollywood duo, beloved by many, started off playing teenage sweethearts in the iconic sitcom That 70s Show. In 2015, wedding bells rang, cementing their status as Hollywood's it couple. Along came two adorable children, further solidifying their fairy tale story. But it's not all glitz and glamour for this power couple. Their hearts seemingly have room for more than just each other. They've been champions for causes that matter. Jointly, they co-founded Thorn, a commendable initiative battling the darkness of child sex trafficking. On their own, Ashton dabbles in the tech world, sprinkling his investments among budding startups. Meanwhile, Mila becomes the voice and face for House, a hip online hangout for home design enthusiasts. Yet every story has its bumps, and theirs took a sharp, unexpected turn recently. Remember Danny Masterson, another face from That 70s Show? On September 9th, 2023, the world was jolted by the news of his conviction, a dark charge of assaulting two women back in 2003. A heavy sentence followed, 30 years to life. But here's where our leading couple left fans and critics flabbergasted. Ashton and Mila penned letters backing their former co-star, emphasizing Masterson's good character and pleading for leniency. All this without a nod to the profound scars left on his victims. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. Here were two people, advocates against sexual abuse, seemingly siding with a perpetrator. Cue the backlash. Public sentiment was aflame. Voices rang out, accusing the duo of lacking empathy and undermining their own philanthropic endeavors. Even victims of Masterson's dark past cried out in pain, feeling betrayed. And Hollywood's own, names like Kathy Griffin and Christina Ricci, couldn't hold back their dismay. Feeling the heat, Ashton and Mila took to Instagram, attempting to mend bridges. They earnestly described their long history with Masterson, spanning a quarter of a century, as the reason behind their letter. Emphasizing their respect for the justice system, they tried to paint a picture of their actions as being rooted in personal relationships rather than skepticism towards Masterson's conviction. Wrapping up, they extended an olive branch, expressing regret for the hurt they may have caused. But did it land? Not quite. Number 9. Kanye West. Moving on, we have Kanye West. Or should we call him Yeah? Here's a name that reverberates far beyond the walls of recording studios. First things first, let's lay down some facts. Kanye has sold a jaw-dropping 160 million records. And he hasn't just stopped there. Those shelves at his home, they're glinting with 24 Grammy Awards. But as they say, with great power comes great responsibility and controversy. Perhaps you remember that gasp-worthy moment in 2009? MTV's Video Music Awards were all abuzz as Taylor Swift basked in the glow of her win. But out of nowhere, Kanye leaped onto the stage, stole her microphone moment, and implied someone else was more deserving. Audiences worldwide watched, mouths agape, and Kanye's comments on historical tragedies like slavery left many reeling. He mentioned, "When you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice." Suddenly, the musical genius was under fire for appearing to downplay centuries of trauma. Then, there's the world of politics. In an era where red hats became more than just headgear, Kanye proudly wore his "Make America Great Again" cap. He even declared Donald Trump a hero and a brother after a cozy White House visit. For fans at a political crossroads, this allegiance was perplexing. Let's not even get started on his Twitter escapades. Accusations of anti-Semitism, promoting the White Lives Matter movement, and insinuations that big names like Diddy might be controlled by others led to a temporary digital exile. Twitter gave him a timeout, and some sponsors waved him goodbye. Feuds? Oh, Kanye's got them aplenty. From lyrical spats with Jay-Z and Drake to social media face-offs with Amber Rose and Snoop Dogg, Kanye's not one to back down from a fight. He weaves these battles into his music, making listeners instant spectators in his gladiator ring of words. But beneath the bravado, there's a man grappling with personal challenges. He's spoken openly about his battle with bipolar disorder, opioid addiction, and even the haunting shadow of thoughts of taking his life. On some days, he claims to be a genius, a god, and the king of music. Then came the heartbreak. In 2021, after 7 cherished years, Kim Kardashian, the reality TV queen and mother of his children, filed for divorce. Love, it seems, was on the rocks, and allegations flew thick and fast. In a world that loves to label, Kanye West defies categorization. He's adored by many who see him as a beacon of creativity and originality, yet others side-eye his antics, questioning his motives. Is he a misunderstood genius or a master of chaos? Only time will tell. Number 8. Amber Heard. Amber Heard, Hollywood's striking blonde, has been in the limelight for some juicy reasons. First, let's talk about that fiery relationship with Johnny Depp, Captain Jack Sparrow himself. These two had love sparks flying, but the romance quickly turned rocky. Johnny Depp, in a shocking twist, pointed fingers at Amber, accusing her of being the real bad guy in their relationship. He claimed she wasn't just throwing tantrums, but actual stuff at him. Amber didn't just sit back. She took to the Washington Post in 2018, hinting at Johnny being the villain. But in a courtroom drama in 2020, it was Depp who got the last laugh. A jury decided Amber was the one throwing shade and maybe more at Depp. The price for her words? A cool $1 million she had to hand over to him. Now here comes another plot twist. Remember that $7 million divorce settlement Amber got? She made a big show of donating it all to charity. Noble, right? Well, Depp's eagle-eyed legal team cried foul. They said Amber's charity promise was more of a "I'll think about it" than an "I'll do it." Although Amber's side of the story was that the money would eventually get there, many eyebrows were raised. But hold up, the drama doesn't stop there. Enter billionaire Elon Musk. The Tesla guy and Amber had a thing, but it seems Musk made a big boo-boo. He sneakily shared a pic of Amber on a platform named X, where she's all decked out as the video game character Mercy from Overwatch. Naturally, Amber was steaming mad about this sneaky share. And then Amber was part of the big splashy movie, Aquaman. But guess what? A bunch of fans were not having it. They didn't want her playing Mera, especially romancing Aquaman because of all her off-screen drama. They even whipped up a petition to get her booted off Aquaman 2. But the director, James Wan, was like, "She's staying!" and confirmed Amber was still making waves in the sequel. With all this drama, it's no wonder Amber Heard has become a hot topic, and not always for the right reasons. From courtrooms to charity claims, from billionaire blunders to superhero squabbles, she's been at the center of it all. Some people back her, saying she's being misunderstood. Others, not so much. They think she's not the role model we need right now. Number 7. Andrew Tate. Born under the bright lights of Chicago, Illinois in the year 1986, Andrew Tate's life story sounds like something straight out of a movie. Here's a guy who's seen it all, from being the son of a chess master in the mighty U.S. Air Force to facing the grittiness of Luton, England, after his parents called it quits. Now fast forward a bit. Tate didn't just sit around. He wrapped his fingers around kickboxing and didn't let go until he was crowned world champion 4 times. And he didn't just stop at kickboxing. The internet became his playground. He splashed around his jet-setter lifestyle, showing off zippy cars, swooshing private jets, and the kind of yachts we all daydream about. And boy, people ate it up. Over 6.9 million folks hung on to his every tweet, and his TikTok videos exploded into billions of views. Sounds like quite the fairy tale, right? But here's where things take a wild turn. Remember Big Brother, the UK's hottest reality TV sensation? Tate joined the show in 2016 but got the boot when a shady video popped up, hinting at him getting rough with a woman. Now, Tate shouted from the rooftops that the clip was twisted and painted him in a bad light. But hold up, that isn't where the roller coaster stops. Tate, never one to hold back, slapped on the label of a misogynist with pride. His views? Well, let's just say he wasn't winning any popularity contests with women anytime soon. He's been super vocal about his controversial stances, throwing out comments that made jaws drop. This firebrand approach didn't sit well with the bigwigs at platforms like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, leading to his ban. Just when you think things can't get any crazier, December 2020 rolls in. Romania's police come knocking, and Tate, along with his brother Tristan and a couple of Romanian ladies, find themselves in hot water. The charges? Super serious stuff. assault, human trafficking, and setting up a gang to exploit women. While he's shouting innocence, he's been cooling his heels under house arrest for over 7 months, waiting for his day in court. The evidence? Romania's got a ton, pointing fingers at the Tate brothers for pressuring women into acts they weren't okay with and allegedly pushing them to create adult content. The details are pretty graphic, with claims of a lady suffering injuries that make your stomach turn. But that's not the end of the Tate saga. He's made headlines for other reasons too, like poking fun at young activist Greta Thunberg, or jumping on the conspiracy theory bandwagon around COVID-19. And if that wasn't enough, he threw his weight behind comedian Russell Brand during a dicey sex scandal situation. So why the hate for Andrew Tate? He's got a cocktail of actions that don't paint him in the best light. From allegedly hurting women to airing controversial views loud and proud, he's been a magnet for negative attention. With a court case looming and a reputation spiraling, the world's watching closely. Number 6. Ellen DeGeneres. Ellen DeGeneres, remember her? She's the fun-loving talk show host who danced her way into our hearts. But she's been dancing in hot water, and it's got the whole world buzzing. First up, let's spill the tea on her show, the place where celebrities have a blast and we get all the giggles. But the employees on the Ellen DeGeneres show claimed they weren't laughing at all. Why? They talked about bullying, racism, and even some serious stuff like sexual harassment. And guess what? Many fingers were pointing straight at Ellen. It's like the "Be Kind" motto we saw on TV disappeared when the cameras went off. Ellen did say sorry and even fired a few big shots from the crew, but many thought it was too little, too late. Then came the time Ellen talked about her big mansion like it was a jail during the lockdown. Ellen, a mansion and jail aren't even in the same universe. Many thought it was super tone deaf. And while she was chilling in her mansion jail, word got out she was slashing pay for her crew.
This is crazy. I wasn't supposed to be doing my show from my house until next season.
Next on the drama list is the Black Lives Matter movement. When the world was shouting for justice, Ellen's voice seemed, well, a bit shaky. She first sent out a tweet that was so vague it was like playing hide and seek with words. People were not impressed. She did try to fix things with a video, but by then, many felt it was just too late. Now get this, remember George W. Bush? Yep, the former president. Ellen said they're buddies. Many fans were scratching their heads because Bush's views aren't exactly rainbow flag friendly, if you know what we mean. Ellen tried to play the "we can be friends even if we don't agree" card, but not everyone was buying what she was selling. And rumors have been flying for years that Ellen might not be as friendly as she looks. Some stories sound like scenes from a comedy movie, like the time she apparently made a fuss about chipped nail polish on a waitress, or when she demanded vegan food at a steakhouse. And oh boy, the celebrity stories, from making fun of Dakota Johnson's birthday bash to poking fun at Sofia Vergara's accent. It's been a roller coaster. All this drama, it's caused quite a storm. Ellen's once sky-high popularity is now looking more like a sinking ship, and she even ended her show due in 2022. Now it's time for Subscribers Pick. Looking at the consensus of the chosen ones on Twitter and Instagram, from being a part of Scientology to the whole cheating drama, Jada Smith is absolutely loathed. Fans agree that Ellen is now hated as well, considering her toxic workspace. But what about Meghan Markle? Do we hate her, or has she escaped the cancel culture? Let us know what the consensus is in the comments below. Number 5. Addison Ray. Pop culture sensation, Addison Ray, at the tender age of 21, became an internet force to reckon with, all thanks to the world of TikTok.
Over the course of a year, my life has completely changed because of a short-form video app called TikTok.
Bursting onto our screens in July 2019, this American social media maven, who also wears the hats of a singer, dancer, and actress, swiftly amassed a staggering 88 million followers. Flashing a net worth estimated around a whopping $5 million, she's not just another online face, she's a movement. What drew the world to Addison? Her eclectic dance routines, comedy skits, lip syncs, and trend-setting content worked like a charm. With the virtual love pouring in, she nestled into the Hype House, an LA-based hub of TikTok influencers, skyrocketing her fame. The silver lining of her cloud was a tie-up with the talent powerhouse WME, and the cherry on the cake, her beauty line, Item Beauty. But Addison didn't just rest her laurels on 15-second videos. 2020 became her gateway to the world of music and cinema. By March 2021, her voice echoed in many ears with her debut single, Obsessed, and soon her EP titled AR. But what really stirred the pot was her leap onto the Netflix bandwagon with He's All That. paying homage to the 90s classic She's All That. Ray also shimmered on our screens with appearances on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon and the ever-so-dramatic Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Despite her meteoric rise and golden moments, criticisms were hurled her way. First up, accusations of cultural appropriation. A hairstyle might just be a hairstyle for some, but for many, it's an identity. Ray sporting box braids and cornrows drew sharp criticism, painting her as someone borrowing heavily from black culture. Her social media history didn't help either, liking questionable tweets and a slip of a racial slur on an Instagram live video. Yikes! Ray, however, acknowledging the bumps, expressed remorse, hoping to evolve and learn. Then there's the dance debacle. What's TikTok without dance challenges? But when Addison showcased 8 iconic TikTok dances on The Tonight Show, there was an echoing question. Who were the original choreographers? Ray's omission, particularly of black creators, became a sour note. But in a turn of events, the original creators got their moment in the spotlight on the same show, dancing to their viral hits. Addison's jest about a 3-month crash course in broadcast journalism while posing with a UFC microphone stirred yet another storm. The internet, quick to jump the gun, assumed she had bagged a correspondent role with the UFC. The backlash was swift, accusing her of riding the waves of privilege and nepotism. But plot twist, she was merely a guest, not a correspondent. A joke, in her words. Last, but certainly not the least, came the religious row. Donning a bikini showcasing religious figures might sound avant-garde to fashionistas, but for many, it was a jolt to their faith. Some labeled it blasphemous, and others plain distasteful. Behind the glitz, glam, and dance moves, Addison's journey is layered with both applause and critiques. The Addison Ray saga is far from over, and the world waits with bated breath for her next move. Number 4. Justin Roiland. Who could forget the quirky antics of Rick and Morty, the hilarious animated duo that won over millions? The man behind their voices and the show itself, Justin Roiland, seemed unstoppable. But as they say, every star has its fall, and Roiland's descent from grace began with some severe allegations that shook fans and networks alike. Back in 2020, whispers began about Roiland being charged with some heavy stuff. Newsweek dropped the bombshell that Roiland was in hot water for domestic battery and false imprisonment connected to a lady he was dating. Think about it. The voice behind those funny characters facing such serious charges? But it wasn't until January 2023 that this news really blew up. Although Roiland shouted his innocence from the rooftops and even said the charges were dropped in March 2023, the storm was far from over. His tweet tried to play the cancel culture card, but that didn't sit well with everyone. Here's where it gets crazier. NBC News threw in another twist. They shared that Roiland might have been sliding into DMs, targeting young fans, some of whom might have been underage. They had the receipts too, text messages from 11 folks, women and non-binary people, revealing Roiland's actions from 2013 to 2022. His messages were flirty, sometimes straight up forward, and not always welcomed. One of these encounters, as per one person's account, even turned into an alleged assault on a Tinder date. Another story involved Roiland supposedly making moves on someone who wasn't in a state to consent. This was the last straw for many. Adult Swim, the place where Rick and Morty fans would tune in, gave Roiland the boot in January 2023. Can you even imagine Rick and Morty without the original Rick and Morty voices? And they weren't alone. Hulu decided they didn't want any part of this mess either. They split from Roiland for 2 other shows he had his fingers in, Solar Opposites and Koala Man. To top it all off, Roiland packed his bags and left Squanch Games, a video game company he helped create in 2016. So, where does this leave the fans? It's a house divided. Some folks think Roiland got a raw deal and stand by him. They feel like what he does behind closed doors is his business, but many others are done with him, clapping for networks like Adult Swim for giving him the boot. And of course, everyone's got a theory about what'll happen to Rick and Morty now. The whole Roiland saga is a big old reminder that even the most beloved celebs can come crashing down. It makes us all wonder, where do we draw the line between the artist and the art? And when they mess up, what's the cost? Number 3. Shia LaBeouf. Enter the whirlwind world of Shia LaBeouf, a dynamic concoction of talent, controversy, and paradox. This American actor, sprinkled with the titles of filmmaker and performance artist, has played everything from robot-fighting teens in the Transformers series to the heir of Indiana Jones's whip-cracking legacy. Oh, and who could forget his stirring performances in American Honey and The Peanut Butter Falcon? He's also the mind behind numerous short films, wearing both the director and writer caps with equal fervor. But like any coin, there's another side to Shia, and boy is it a roller coaster. Once upon a 2013, the internet was abuzz with accusations of Shia lifting, almost verbatim, from a comic by Daniel Clowes for his short film HowardCantor.com. But when he took to Twitter to apologize, sharp-eyed netizens pointed out, wait, that apology's plagiarized too. The incident, like wildfire, spread, revealing a trail of borrowed phrases and ideas from various artists. Was it homage or just plain stealing? Adding more fuel to the fire are his run-ins with the law. Drunk driving, disorderly conduct, and public intoxication are just the tip of the iceberg. And while some might remember a few scuffles with fans, paparazzi, or even the bartender who didn't serve him fast enough, Shia's battles with alcoholism and PTSD aren't forgotten either. He's openly spoken about his struggles, seeking solace and treatment. But 2020 struck a deeper, graver chord. Singer FKA Twigs and pop sensation Sia stepped forward, painting Shia in a very different light. FKA Twigs' lawsuit accused him of everything from physical to emotional abuse during their shared time, even alleging he knowingly transmitted an STD to her. Sia's tweet sang a similar tune but focused on deception, claiming Shia tricked her into a relationship with false pretenses. Shia's response? A mix of denial, self-awareness, and an assertion of his commitment to recovery. So why the disdain for LaBeouf? The allegations and behaviors sketch a picture of someone seen by many as dishonest, occasionally violent, and deeply flawed. Opportunities and collaborations that once flowed in abundance now seem strained, with many in the industry keeping a wary distance. Number 2. Drew Barrymore. Hollywood is no stranger to controversy, and the vivacious Drew Barrymore, an acclaimed American actress, producer, talk show queen, and author, recently found herself caught in its swirling vortex. Born into the legendary Barrymore lineage of actors, Drew has gracefully donned many hats, from silver screen heartthrob to the brain behind the renowned production house Flower Films. But today, we're not diving into her accolades or her cinematic masterpieces. Instead, we're peeling back the curtain on a bold move that's earned her more frowns than fans of late. It all started on September 4th, 2023, when the Writers Guild of America, aka WGA, and the Screen Actors Guild American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, also known as SAG-AFTRA, launched a massive strike. Their fight? Fair streaming residuals, amplified diversity, robust healthcare and pension benefits, and paramount workplace safety. The rift between the unions and the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers, also commonly known as AMPTP, had become the talk of Tinseltown. Enter Drew's talk show, The Drew Barrymore Show. September 18th, 2023, marked its triumphant return post-summer hiatus. The twist? The absence of its writers. Buzz spread like wildfire. Drew, with her show under the WGA umbrella, was accused of breaching strike protocols and weakening the collective might of the union. Picturing WGA members picketing outside the CBS Broadcast Center in New York, where Drew's magic unfolds, is enough to set the gravity of the situation. Drew's initial attempt at damage control materialized as an Instagram statement, where she candidly admitted her choice to continue, underscoring the significance of safeguarding other associated jobs. Drew affirmed her stance by not promoting any struck film or TV project. But did this pacify the simmering tensions? Far from it. The rumbles grew louder. Esteemed counterparts like Ellen DeGeneres, Jimmy Kimmel, and Stephen Colbert were hailed for halting their shows in the strike's wake, painting Drew's decision in an even more isolated light. Not one to shy away, Drew returned to the Instagram battleground, this time with a tear-streaked face, echoing heartfelt apologies yet explaining her rationale. A life dotted with highs and lows, Drew painted this as another challenging chapter, pleading for empathy. Yet this too fell flat, stirring an even larger whirlwind of criticism. The sincerity of her apology was questioned and eyebrows raised at the video's swift removal. Voices grew louder, suggesting Drew could have leveraged her platform in favor of the strike rather than stepping over the line. The ripple effects were palpable. The U.S. National Book Awards ceremony, scheduled for November 15, 2023, witnessed her removal as host. The National Book Foundation, while acknowledging Barrymore's literary prowess, stood firmly in respect of the writers' fight for their rights. Their doors for future collaboration remained open, but not until the storm had passed. Silence has since enveloped Drew on this front, post the video's deletion. One thing, however, is crystal clear. Drew's image, once that of Hollywood's darling, now grapples with dents and scratches. Number 1. Armie Hammer. 2021 and Hollywood was buzzing with gossip. Front and center, Armie Hammer. Yup, the tall, dark, and once dreamy actor. Everyone was chattering about his serious off-screen drama. First up, an Instagram page, House of Effie. Out of nowhere, it dropped these wild screenshots. The messages, mega creepy. They hinted at super dark fantasies like BDSM and even cannibalism. People everywhere were like, hold up, Armie said what now? And let's be honest, the word cannibal isn't something you expect or want to see from a Hollywood star. Then the dominoes started to fall. Projects he was hyped for? Bye-bye. Armie was meant to star with J-Lo in Shotgun Wedding, but he dipped. Even the series about The Godfather didn't want a piece of him. His team, they cut ties faster than you can say damage control. Other celebs who once were all chummy with him now, radio silence or straight up, we're shocked. But here's where things got real. A brave gal, Effie, steps forward. Guess what? She's behind House of Effie. Effie spills a heart-wrenching story. She talks about a long, painful relationship with Armie. Claims of crazy, intense, hours-long incidents and being treated as if she was an object. And while all this was going on, Armie was hitched to Elizabeth Chambers. But wait, there's a twist. Armie? He said it was all above board and consensual. No cannibal business and no law breaking. But then, other ex-flames chime in. Paige Lorenz and Courtney Vuchkovich hop on the Armie's strange fantasies train, sharing their own eerily similar tales. Now, police love a Hollywood drama as much as the next person. So, by April 2021, the LAPD was like, let's dig into this. Effie made it official, handing them her claims on a silver platter. And guess what? The police hinted they might have some evidence up their sleeve. Armie's lawyer, though, was having none of it, calling it a plot by folks just looking for their 15 minutes of fame. September 2021, and here came the drama-packed docuseries, House of Hammer. Family secrets, wild interviews, and a family tale that might make you think twice about bedtime stories. Hammer's family seemed to have skeletons in their closets. We are talking about years of abuse among other disturbing things. Rolling into October, and Armie broke his silence. He talked to airmail, drops bombs like admitting he wasn't the nicest partner and his battles with, well, his desires. Plus, a super sad reveal about a moment in February where he just didn't want to carry on. Through all this, he wished for a patch-up with his ex, Elizabeth Chambers. They had got 2 kiddos and a decade of memories. So where's that leave Armie now? His stardom has taken a nosedive and his image, smudged with controversy. The audience, super divided, loads rallying behind the brave souls sharing their stories and wishing for justice. And everyone's watching, waiting, and wondering, what's the next chapter in Armie's tangled Hollywood tale? Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.